Hey y'all, welcome back for another episode of Candy Coated Shenanigans, Sour Patch Kid edition, the only way I know how to be. I hope everybody is having a great day, and we are going to get right into it because I am running far behind schedule today, okay? So, welcome back. I guess I'm happy to be home. Last week I was just on the beach and now I'm back home. Beach me back, please. Beach me back. But without further ado, today's topic is going to be in the area of financial. I kind of pushed a lot of stuff around this month, but I felt that it was important to talk about. So this week's topic is credit card utilization. You will see me look down a little bit. I have a lot of notes. I want to make sure I get through everything because it's all important to share. So, be patient through the process. One of the biggest problems that I see when it comes to credit cards, sometimes with myself and definitely with others, whether friends or clients or whatever, besides the fact that we get in financial binds because we tend to purchase things that we can't afford just to buy in cash or to buy right out of our bank accounts, which we've all been there, right? Maybe I have a larger purchase and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to tie all my cash up like this, so I'm going to put it on a credit card. But we haven't taken into consideration all the other components, especially if it's not a necessity, and that can put us in a bind. But the other thing that is a huge problem is the lack of knowledge in how you can make a credit card work for you and not against you. I hear a lot of people say, like, I never want to have a credit card. Okay, well, I guess there are people out there that are like that. Usually if they're like that, they're like buku money, and even the buku money people have credit cards. They understand the importance of showing what your history is, right? And that's really what credit does. Credit allows a lender to kind of get a story on you, and you are the author of this story, but bad decisions will definitely paint a horrible story that can become very difficult to get out of. So I am going to try to give you some things that hopefully will help whatever situation you may be in, or make you a little bit more comfortable going out and getting a card, just to know up front how you should handle this credit card. Let me express, this is a no judgment zone. I always say that when I talk about money, because I never want people to see me sitting here and think like, oh, she has it all together. Some days I do have it all together, y'all, but it has not always been like this. And I have been in situations where I've messed up with credit cards and my credit more than once. And I know the ins and outs, so I can only imagine for people who don't, how you get in situations and you can't get out of them. So like I said, I've literally had to climb my way out of debt that I got myself into. I won't go into all the boring details of that. I have other videos up if that is a story you want to hear about. I'm very transparent, but I've been there. I have mismanaged money in a way that has impacted my credit score, and then had to literally live life like my salary wasn't what it was to get myself into a better position. So clearly, I'm not saying this is something that is easy to do, but I want you to know it is possible. Do not be discouraged. If you need side advice, feel free to reach out to me. But what I want to do is I want to focus in on 4 tips, right? Tip number 1, if you are new to this whole credit card world, or if you have a credit card, the most important thing to remember is you want your utilization to be 30% or less. I always tell people you want it to be less than 30% because that gives you the wiggle room for the interest that you're going to be charged if you don't pay off the entire balance each month. So I always say less than 30%, but at worst case scenario, you want it to be 30%. If you are above 30%, take a breath, right? Because you're like, oh man, I'm already messed up. If you are above 30%, it is okay, but you need to figure out where you need, what your balance is that you need to pay down to get to that point. And I'm not saying it's easy, but you're gonna have to sacrifice some things in life. The greatest things require sacrifice. So this is gonna be a sacrifice for some. It's still a sacrifice for me in areas that I'm still cleaning up or correcting or whatever I'm doing. So, you know, having a budget is very important, and also doing this process that I'm about to mention right now is important. So when I say 30%, a great example that I have here is if you have a $2,000 limit on a credit card, 30% of that is going to be $600. So your balance should be $600 or less on that credit card. If that is not where you are at, you need to try to get there. If you have multiple credit cards, you need to take the balances on all those cards and add them up. And then you need to take all of the limits, your allowable limit, that is the max spend allowed on that card, and you need to add those up. When you get your max spend, your total limit, you times that by 30%, and that will tell you what your total balance across those cards should look like. If you are not there, you need to work on that. And you can do snowball, you can do avalanche. That's different ways to pay down debt. That is going to be dependent on your reward system, like mentally where you're at. I'll get into that in a different video. I don't want to sidetrack too much, but whatever you need to do, you know, you have tax season that I think the filing, extended filing was just till about a week ago. And then you have different things that occur, right? If you receive stimulus money, if you can pick up extra hours at your job. And I know you may be saying like, that's extensive over credit, right? Like, why should I be that concerned? Credit makes the world go round. Whether you want to admit that or not, having poor/bad credit or no credit will definitely close a lot of doors that you're not even thinking about right now, but that will be very important to you in the future. So that's why I'm saying get the understanding you need now, and then make smart decisions as you move forward. Okay, so what else we are going to talk about is interest, right? A lot of times we go out and we get these credit cards and we do not pay attention to interest rates, right? And some of these cards have like a 20, 22, 24% interest. Like, have y'all really thought about how high that is? And every month that you do not pay your entire balance, they are charging you that interest rate. And there are times like if you only are doing the minimum payment, baby, honey, child, you're gonna be there a long time. Stop letting these people steal your money, right? Pay attention to the information that they are providing to you. On your statement, you will see, you know, what your balance is, what your minimum payment is, and sometimes it'll look like, oh, I'm only gonna pay 45, oh, I'm only gonna pay 50, I'm only gonna pay 75, whatever that minimum is, and I'm gonna be good. There is also a section on there that shows you, if you only pay your minimum balance, this is how long it's gonna take you to pay this debt off, and this is how much interest you will pay. I can't remember when that changed over, but it's a requirement that it's on there. And I think it's a great one, because a lot of people were being bamboozled thinking like, I'm just gonna pay this minimum payment in this many months it's gonna be done. No, it's not. And you're gonna pay a shit ton of money in interest for no reason. So if you are able to pay the full balance, pay it off. Pay more than the minimum payment. If you cannot pay it off, always pay more than a minimum payment. I say that continuously. I do it for everything, meaning sometimes I might have something I want to do that month and I'm like, no, I need to make sure that I'm paying more than the minimum, because if not, I'm gonna be paying this for like 15 years. And look at your numbers. Some of them will say it take like 10, 15 years to pay off. That's ridiculous. It took me 5 minutes to spend that money. I will not be paying it like it's a mortgage. I will not. And these interest rates are far higher than what you get on a mortgage. So you're better off going and getting a home loan over charging things on a credit card for things that you might keep for a year and then it's gone. Like, there's no value in a lot of the things that we charge up and then don't pay off and we get in a bind. Another thing, if your credit is, I'll say good, decent good, so maybe you're at 700. This would be the time where if I saw that I was above 30% utilization, that I would reach out to see if I can get a credit limit increase. Not to spend more money, but to just get a better ratio going. And as I am paying down my current balances, that will assist me with being at the 30% or below, and it has a smaller impact on my credit score. Because as you start using higher ratios of your credit, you're for sure your credit score is going to change because you look a little bit more risky. Like, oh, you charge a lot, but you don't pay it down. Or, you know, you have, you're using 40 and 50% of what you have as a limit. So are you heading into a financial hardship? Like, why are you using all this? Especially if you haven't in the past. Like, they pay attention to trends and things that are occurring. So you just have to be very mindful. I'm not saying go through every single credit card you have and be like, increase my limit, increase my limit, increase my limit, because those will require, they will do a credit check to make sure they feel you are in a responsible position for an increase. But what I would say is pick one that you've had good standing with, that you're doing pretty well on, and ask for a credit limit increase. Sometimes they will even allow you to do like a soft inquiry instead of it being a hard inquiry. And they'll just give you like a pre-approval amount if it's even available. Or they'll say, no, you ain't in a position for this, which is nice just to kind of get a little bit more detail on what you could be doing better that you're not doing. And lastly, but definitely an important component, if you are in a financial situation where you cannot pay on your credit cards, do not just get payments. Okay, y'all? Do not just be out here like, I can't make the payment this month, I'm not paying y'all. That's not how life works. I know it looks like it works that way because you just don't make the payment and you keep on going with life, but that's not how it works in the background. In the background, you are delinquent. In the background, that's going to stay on your credit report for up to 7 years. In the background, you are putting yourself in a horrible situation. That will be something this company or companies or credit card companies will take note of. Like, your way of handling responsibility is pretending it doesn't exist. That's what it sounds like when you just decide, I'm not gonna make this payment. Reach out to your credit card company and have a discussion, right? And they're not all like cold-hearted people. Most times if you can call them and tell them, this is what is going on, this is what I need, can we do this? Can we set up a payment arrangement? I remember I was, oh my goodness, I had to be like 20, right? And this credit card company kept calling my house, right? And I lived at home with my parents. So finally, my mother had got sick of it and she had a discussion with them, with me sitting there. I had to give permission. And they explained to her what was going on. And she had explained back, like, she's 20 years old. She cannot pay, which I want her to pay. And my mom was able to negotiate a minimum payment, and I doubled the minimum payment. And she was also able to negotiate the interest rate coming down as long as I did not charge anything else to that credit card. I didn't. There are ways to work with them, but you have to hold up your end of the deal. And currently your end of the deal is that I'm going to make payments each month. So if you're not upholding that, when you go to reach out to them to see if there's something they can do, they're less likely to do it for you because you're not someone who sticks with their word or their contract agreement. So once you realize you are in a bind, reach out ahead, not once you're 3, 4, 5 months behind. Reach out ahead and see what they're willing to do. Most times they will work with you. Just saying. I mean, like, I get it. I definitely get being in a situation you're like, I can't pay this bill. But the other side is, you shouldn't have bought what you bought. And I'm going to keep it 100 with you, because I think a lot of times the issue is other people don't keep it 100 with us ahead of time. They just want to tell us how to correct it after we done already did it. And then you kind of looking like, well, I did it now. Your way ain't going to work. So now I'm telling you how to do this ahead of time to assist you. And like I said before, remember, credit makes the world go round, right? If you want an apartment, if you want to purchase a home, if you want a car, a business, even cell phones, if you need any type of loan, your credit decides if that answer is a yes or a no. And if it is a yes, it also decides what the amount of interest you pay, right? And that may not sound like a big deal, but that can be thousands of dollars depending on what you are borrowing. So let's start making smart decisions. Let's increase our opportunity of a yes in the end without paying buku money for these loans. And let's start sharing the knowledge with other people, right? If you figured it out, if you're doing it well, share that with the next person. I don't understand this whole, I had to struggle, so you're going to have to struggle through it too. That is a jacked up mentality. Now, I won't say to people, you have to work for things, because in you working for things, you gain knowledge and you're going to gain an additional level of discipline. But I don't want people to struggle through anything. That's not where it's at. So if you know something, teach someone else something. That is how we get in a better situation as an individual, as a community, and as a whole world. So I hope these things were helpful. Share, subscribe, and I will see you all next week. I have no clue even what I'm going to talk about next week, because this whole month my plans have continued to change, but I will see you all next week. I hope this was helpful. I hope this can help you make better decisions, and have a great week. Bye.